Well, it's 6:30, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to our Module 5 live session. I realize that there might be some people coming in, but I do want to respect everyone's time, especially the people that are here. As I get started, can everybody see the PowerPoint, and can you guys hear me okay?
Yes. Yes, I can.
Perfect. So, all right, yeah, so welcome. It looks like Kel and Mina, you guys are on tonight. Thank you for coming. Just wanted to go over a little bit of introductions, checking in, reflections on the course, a review journal, assignment expectations, important due dates, reflection, and critical thinking questions. The 6 principles of professional communication, and we'll have time for questions and answers. So, welcome everybody. And I just want to take a moment. As you all know, I am Mike and I live in Colorado. I do have my master's degree in early childhood education. And one of my favorite movies as a child growing up is Home Alone. I actually thought this weekend, I can't remember on which channel, but I thought it was pretty hilarious and it still cracks me up. Just share a little bit about where you reside, program that you're in, and what your favorite movie as a child was and why.
Hi, this is Mikkel. Mikkel Weathers, and I'm in Illinois. I am in the ECE certificate program. And my favorite movie as a child was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And I really don't, other than the fact that it just seemed to take me away from reality and took you into a mystical land filled with candy. Other than that, I don't really know why I've always I still to this day like it. So I don't know why. It's one of those movies that I guess just kind of took me away. Allowed me to imagine.
As a child, yeah. I just never know why. And it's just that growing up, you kind of something about being comfortable. Well, thanks for sharing, Mikkel.
You're welcome.
My name is Giovanna. I live in New York. The program I'm in is the Early Childhood Education Certificate, I think, for now. It's really hard to pick just one, especially like as a child. Like I think the only thing that was available was like the little Disney movies, like The Little Mermaid, Pocahontas, Mulan, more recently, I guess. And I liked them because they were, almost all of them were adventurous. And so that was like really like interesting and exciting to me. It was like a break from the sorry, I can't say that word, of the ordinary everyday life. So yeah, I think that's why I liked them.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Davina.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Okay. I'm on a different computer than I'm normally at. So my name is Brandy Peterson. I'm from Minnesota, and I'm also in the early childhood education program. I'd say my favorite movie as a kid was 101 Dalmatians because I was obsessed with dogs. So that was a perfect one for me.
Nice. Well, thanks, ladies. Thanks for sharing, and welcome to the live session. Since it's us 3 tonight, there might be some other people coming in, but I just want to keep on going. Just wanted to check in. So do you guys, how's it going so far? Do you have any reactions from Module 5, what went well this term, and what are you guys looking forward to your Exploration 2 class that is coming up? And you guys know your grade. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably do know your grade. But yeah, just want to hear from you. How's it going?
So far, so good. My reaction so far to Module 5, I'm excited for this reflection journal to be done. That was probably the hardest part, but what went well? I like the lives and how if you're on it, you get to answer the questions and be live instead of doing another assignment type thing. I like that this is a little better for me anyway. And I am looking forward to Explorations 2 because it's something different.
Nice. Well, thank you for sharing.
And yes, I do know my grade.
Well, that's a good thing. I have to add that in if you guys know your grade, because you'll be surprised sometimes students don't know their grade, and it's just like, oh, you don't know your grade till this point, and they're just like,
Oh, geez,
I only have a so-and-so, and I'm just like, yeah. So that's good.
I agree with Brandy. Pretty much the same here.
So far the class is going well. My reaction to Module 5 so far is that there's a lot of stuff to do. So, in all honesty, I'm not happy about that. But, and what went well this term? Probably the discussion questions were probably more favorable to me than the other portions of the class. I really don't know what I'm looking forward to in Explorations 2 because I haven't thought about it. I just know it's another class that I have to take, so I haven't really thought about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't given that a whole lot of thought. And yes, I do know my overall grade.
I tell you, crack me up. You know why? Because I was going to say, yeah, Module 5, yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do in Module 5. I don't know why the course is designed like this, but you know, just for future references, I always tell the chair that this course, it seems to be like it starts off really slow, and then you get into week 2 with like 3 assignments, and then 3, 4, and then 5 is just ridiculous with a bunch of assignments and everything due. And then 6, there's like, I think, 1 assignment. So yeah, it's the course setup. Yeah, the course setup is a little intense, and it's really deceiving at first because you're just like, oh, not going to be that bad, and then all of a sudden have 3 assignments.
Exactly.
4 assignments and a discussion. Yeah, no, I completely agree, and that's another thing I could talk to my chair and my dean about, just how this course, the layout of it is a little much, but you know, I know that the 5.5-week course, and I'm sure because of it's 5.5 weeks, it's a little bit, there's a lot more material to cover. But yeah.
It does go by quicker because of the fact that you're in a shorter time period, but wow.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Because, you know, like you said that, you know, if you're submitting a bunch of stuff, on the other part, I'm the one grading all the stuff, so it's just like, oh wow, there is so much to do all the time.
Oh, yeah. You did everything in one time now.
Yep. No, I completely agree. That's good feedback. All right. So as you guys talked about, your journal that I'm talking about pretty much for the whole class that is due this week. So your reflection assignment will be graded based on quality of information from all the 4 topics. It is worth 50% of the assignment grade. You want to review your entries from all 4 weeks and add any additional information as necessary. As a reminder, your journal should be 1 document with each entry starting on a new page. And one of the biggest things about this assignment, it's worth 12% of your overall grade in the course. So, just make sure that, one of the things that I see the most where I usually dock points is when students don't type a whole 1-page paper on each reflection. They'll do 3/4 of a page or half a page or a quarter of a page, or they put it all on 1 page, or however it would be. Just make sure that when you do it, it's 1 document, but you have journal 2, journal 3 on another page, journal 4 on another page, and then your last journal. Does anybody have any questions with that?
Yes, I have a question. For the references, should it be at the end of the 5th module or at the end of each one, respectively?
It depends on if it's like a direct quote, you want to make sure that you put that within the paper if you're citing something, and then you could put it at the end of, like if you have a reference page, that would be a separate page with whatever you reference that from.
Okay, thanks.
And just for clarity, if we are not having to do any citations, do we still have to have that APA cover page? Because I read something else that said that we had to have an APA cover page only if we were doing APA formatting with citations.
That's a good question.
Inflicting information.
Yeah, that's a good question. I will look in further, Nicole, and I will get back to the whole class as a whole. When I've taught this class, I teach this class like every couple times a year. And the last time I taught it, I did require a APA format page, basically. But they have changed the APA format for the title page. Usually with APA formatting, all I require is a title page for it. But I will get back to you, and I will post something. If you have to do an APA formatting, I'll post exactly of what it should look like for you. Would that help? Yeah. So basically, you can just copy it, and so you're not completely wondering what you need to do and how you need to do it, because in future classes with this, I usually go over the APA formattings, but since they changed it, I haven't had really a chance to look at it for this particular class. So I will go over it, and I'll just let you know if it needs to be for the actual journal assignment or not. And it'll be, yes, you do, this is how it is, or no, you don't worry about it. So.
Okay, that would be good. Thank you.
But yeah, don't expect anything tonight, but tomorrow it will be posted for sure.
Well, that's fine. I won't be finished with it tonight anyway.
Well, that's good. At least you're honest.
Yes, so thank you.
What else is there going on? Okay, so yeah. Any other questions? I know this is basically, I'm not looking at if it's right or wrong. I'm just looking at basically what your thoughts are. It could be, it's basically just your opinion. That's, you know, the beauty of journaling and journaling assignments is you do what you think is best and what you think, and there's no right or wrong answer, and you'll never get docked for having a wrong or right answer. Unless it's really, 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 really blown out of left field.
And really short.
Yeah, really short, you're going to get docked. I can tell you that right now, yeah. Anything else? All right. And if you are viewing this online, if you guys have questions, feel free to reach out. Important due dates. So, as we talked about a little bit, Nicole and all of us, there are 5 assignments that are due this week. A discussion post that hopefully most of you, if not all of you, have already done, which was actually due yesterday. The written assignment, exploration assignment, the live session quiz, but if you're here, you don't need to do the live session quiz because we're participating and I will give you full credit. And then the journal assignment that we just went over. Remember, everything is due on Sunday besides the discussion responses. Everything is due on Sunday, December 8th by 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. And just a reminder, there is a 10% grade deduction for each day that an assignment is late, but I really encourage you guys to turn in your assignments sooner rather than later, so you get some or most of your credit. Then course does end next Friday, December 13th. You know, like I was talking earlier, that, you know, starts off slow and then ends really slow. Module 6 only does have one assignment. It's the exploration assignment, which is due on Friday, December 13th at 11:59 Central Standard Time. And then I cannot accept any assignments after 11:59 Central Standard Time on Friday, December 13th for any reason. If I could, I would, but that's a college policy. I can't really do anything about that. So yeah, basically that is the due date. You guys have any questions? All right, no questions. I'm going to keep continuing on. So reflection and critical thinking from chapter 8. Go over a little bit of both these. So this week you're supposed to come up prepared to discuss question 3 and number 4 in the live session. Let's take a look at question number 3. The important qualities needed to be good collaborators and communicators. And which ones are important qualities needed to be collaborators and good communicators for making like positive impressions. I think when I was a teacher, you know, having that eye contact and the smile on your face, making sure that you know each parent's name really goes a long way, and it really shows a really positive impact and respect when you're talking to each parent, especially if you do have parents that are divorced or have different dynamics. It does go a long ways when you are doing that and knowing their names. Being positive, being aware of appropriate social stance, trying not to prolong conversations, trying to find that fine line of, watching the children and making conversations, being positive. A lot of times, a lot of different things happen in our personal lives, which sometimes you bring it in and it sometimes affects work. And I think, when you're taking care of children and you have something that's going on in your personal life, and children usually tend to pick up on that, and they could feed off of that, which is sense your cues. So, trying your best to leave it at the door, and when you're at your job, you're being at your job, and be sure that you're taking care of those kiddos. And, having said that, the important qualities needed to be good collaborators. There's just so many different things that you could do. I know ones that are the easiest for me to demonstrate when I was a teacher was I was terrible at names. I did not know everybody's name. I had like 20-some children in my classroom, so it was hard to keep track of them, especially if they moved up to like another classroom and trying to learn a new parent's name and everything. But I honestly think that should be the most important thing, one of the most important things to collaborate with the family. But, just taking that time individually for each of them to demonstrate that you show that you care for each of those children that you take care of. So, I'll let you guys talk, which ones was the easiest for you to demonstrate. I shared mine was probably trying to know every different parent's name. So yeah, which ones are the easiest for you? And if you are viewing this online, please answer these questions in paragraph form.
I think the most difficult for me is actually trying to remember their name. That's the most difficult for me. Whereas the easiest for me is being able to cut off the conversation. Because I normally just have to let them know, we're going to have to take this up later because I need to finish taking care of the children.
It's hard to find that line, trying to be respectful, but yet trying to do your job,
Exactly. I feel like I'm the opposite. I am good with their names, but I could sit and talk to, like I have a couple parents who I've known for years that I could sit and talk to forever. Like we hang out outside of work too, so it just kind of depends on which parent, I guess, is picking up too. But like a lot of the moms I've became really close to, so which can be a good thing and a bad thing, but I feel like it depends on the person. Like some of them can take advantage of you if they think you're friends, and it's like, oh, it's okay, we're friends. But I have a pretty good group right now that stick with the rules good, so.
Yeah, sometimes when you give a mouse a cookie, they want milk and they want everything else. No, I get it. My wife has I wouldn't say in-home child care, but she watches some children here. Seems like a child care because every time I get home, there's like multiple kids here. Even the neighbor's kids that she doesn't get paid to watch, but they're here playing with my daughter. So anyways, long story short, it's hard. I understand to try to find that line. But yeah, it can get messy, especially if they, depending on the situation, depending on the dynamics between each other. So. Do you have anything else to add?
I think the textbook said something about making sure you have like at least one positive thing to say like to, so that the parents hear from you not only when there's a problem, but also when there's good stuff happens, so that they like associate you with, you know, like positive things, and they don't, and more likely to be like involved, I guess, in the program that way. And, you know, obviously it would not be additional matters of with parents, you know, to keep, you know. And with Joseph's story, the educators were knowledgeable about um, his culture.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you know, that they weren't.
Well,
They just had
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, Javita, you're like cutting out, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know why, but I was hearing you parts of the way.
Which part was the last part?
You started talking about question 4.
Yes. It would have been better if the educators had known about his culture.
Mm-hmm.
Because he didn't need to be in a slow class, because, you know, he was capable of learning. They just didn't know what they were being taught before. So
Sure, yeah.
Situation better.
I feel like communication is a huge part with, you know, between parents and the educators, because if they're not, you know, very involved with what's going on in their background or their health or at home and stuff, they're not going to be able to help as well as they could have at daycare school.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the nose. One of the biggest things to getting to know your family and your kids is, I mean, kind of like that pre-visit, to get to know what they like, what they don't like, what the expectations are for the parents, you know, and then stuff that you want to share with yourself, like your expectations of the classroom and the center's expectations and guidelines, and different things of communicating to that extent before they actually even get enrolled, so there is no shock when something does come arise. Another thing that I really wanted to touch up real quick on is I don't know if you guys still do it, and sometimes that there's restrictions around it, but another good thing of really another really good thing when communicating with parents is to use text messages or pictures throughout the day of their child. Like Davina said, that you know, you want to use something positive, even if it's the littlest thing, even if your hardest kid is having a hard time, even the littlest thing will make even a picture of that child and to their parents maybe a little bit more happy of them, depending on, you know, your time and your workload and everything else. But I know having pictures sent to parents does go a long ways. Parents do really enjoy that, and they take time out of their work day just to see that their kid is being happy at child care or school or wherever it is.
I agree with that. I get compliments all the time if I send them, and like it just makes their day.
Yeah, they really enjoy that, don't they?
They do.
So yeah, and then regarding Kristen and Joseph's story, I don't know if you guys had a chance to read them. I know Nina shared a little bit about Joseph's culture, you know, saying like what could the teachers have done to make their experience more positive. I'm not going to actually read the whole 2 scenarios to you, but if you guys want to talk about them a little bit, you know, regarding Joseph's story, back in the day, the education system was a lot different in the 70s. I remember my uncle always telling me that he actually stole something from one of the kids in the classroom, and his discipline was actually he had to get a haircut in the classroom. And this was in the 60s, so 60s, 70s, so, you know, obviously you can't do anything like that in this day and age or you won't have a job. But it's interesting to see that shift of education of how things were back in the 70s to them now, and how this childcare, I mean, I don't even know if childcare was really a big thing back then. I don't think it was. I don't remember childcare in the 70s, or anything to that extent. Like, I don't know when it really shifted. But yeah, it's interesting to see the history, though, even with the school settings, how different things go. And, you know, regarding Joseph's story, you know, bad experiences can linger, and if you had a really bad experience, you might not be more likely to be involved in your children's things. So there's just different school things. So there's just different perspectives, different history and background when it comes to um, different experiences in both of these case studies. Brandy, Nicole, did you guys ever get a chance to read any of these?
I did. I got a chance to read the story. And in terms of Joseph, yes, I know that experience or an experience of that type will continue to follow you throughout life, and you do have flashbacks of things that happened in your childhood. People don't think that kids remember things, but they do. They remember especially the bad things, the things that may have traumatized him. And the way that Joseph spoke in that story, that had to have traumatized him because it was not just things that were happening to him, but it was happening to his entire culture. And with them, you know, putting some of the kids in special education who really more than likely did not belong in special education. And and then the way that the way that they were treated throughout the school, I'm sure put a bad image in his mind of the entire school system in that particular area. And of course, going back into that building definitely brought back memories, I'm sure.
I agree. I feel like, especially as a child, you know, we as adults are supposed to be teaching them, you know, right and wrong and stuff. And if they're getting made fun of, or just because of their culture, it's like they feel like maybe like something is wrong with them, but it's not their fault. It's our fault for not being educated in their background too. It's nothing against them. So I agree. If, you know, he goes back to that building, and you definitely get those flashbacks right away, even if you haven't thought about it for how many years, it happens.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, to think about your guys' selves, everybody's had a bad experience in their life. If somebody said that they've never had a bad experience, they're probably not telling you the truth. And if you think about the bad things that has happened in your life, you probably remember them. It's something that just kind of sticks with you. So, you know, like you said, if there's something that has bad that has happened to you, of course you're going to always have that in the back of your mind, like, oh, but I think actually being knowledgeable and knowing that that is not the truth, and understanding it from a holistic perspective makes it a lot easier when it comes to deciphering what is right and what is wrong. So.
Right. You can't change the past. Yeah, some stuff may have happened, but you definitely can change the future and how you react to past situations.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, it's, you know, it's pretty amazing. I could share with you a personal experience of myself. I used to get made fun of when I was younger. Children used to call me fat, and I ended up losing 110 pounds through running and exercise because I always thought that mindset that, oh, maybe I am fat or maybe I am this or that. But I really took it in a positive way of thinking that, well, even though that I am bigger, if I lose weight, that will maybe help my self-esteem and everything else. But it kind of goes back to that. Like, I always remember people saying that when I was younger, and it made me feel real bad. But then as I grew up, I started losing weight, and those memories kept coming back. And right now I run ultra marathons, which is a little crazy, but I'm not the latest person still. I got married and got comfortable, so I kind of regress back, but I'm still really, really active and stuff, which is kind of a big thing. All right, that was really personal. I probably shouldn't have shared that, but I did anyways, so.
I've been told I was skinny, so, I mean, there's so many people out there that are, oh, you're too skinny, you're too fat. What is the right way to look nowadays? It's stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're healthy, that's the biggest thing. Of course, it is what it is. But I really, through those experiences, good or bad, it really does put it's things that you'll always remember. But you always you try to always move past it too as well. So.
I agree. You could turn any experience into something good. Even if it wasn't a good experience, you can get something out of it and turn that into something positive.
Yeah, it's a mindset is what it is. And everybody has choices. You could be mad at the world, but nobody's going to know that if you're mad at anybody or anything. The only person who's going to suffer is yourself, right?
Exactly. It's like, what is good for you, basically.
Yep.
Nothing's going to change unless you go out and change it.
Yep, that is very true. All right, I'm going to move on to the last thing for tonight. There's the 6 principles in the NACE effective practice and family engagement outlines that are engaging for families in this effective way. Kind of going to go over each of them very, very, very briefly, and then just talk about one, pretty much ones that you feel that are most important, or some stuff that aligns with your guys' program. So the first one is programs invite families to participate in decision making and goal setting for their children. Basically, it's when you sit down and talk at parent-teacher conferences and ask the parents about what they want, what kind of goals that they send out to their child. And the next thing is Principle 2, teachers and programs engage in families in two-way communication. And we'll talk about that a lot more because I shared up a little bit up on that of what different programs do for that. We talked about text, picture. I know some people do apps, daily sheets as well. But we'll talk a little bit more about that in the next slide after this. There is the programs and teachers engage families in ways that are truly reciprocal. Basically, programs and teachers engage in families kind of in a two-way street with them coming into the classroom, possibly in sharing culture and whatnot, different food if programs allow that, programs provide learning activities for home and in the community. So, you know, if you guys have like parent classes or yoga classes or you know, volunteer stuff that is that has learning activities, or home activities where you have the child take a picture, a life-size picture of how they look, and they do it with the parents at home, or literacy books where they read to them at their home and bring it back. So that's kind of like how that programs provide learning activities for the home and the community. The other ones, programs invite families to participate in program level decisions and wider advocacy efforts. Basically, that is like we have a policy council that we get approval for our Head Start, for hiring, firing, different budget things. In the public schools, I think there's like PTAs, parent-teacher associations that do different activities to promote different program level and other decision-making things throughout the school. And then programs implement a comprehensive program level system. So basically, parents engage with different, basically parents engage in different levels of advocacy. So some of them may be a representative to, so it's a little bit different than the actual volunteer, but they go a step above where they actually get involved with bigger committees through like state representatives and stuff to that extent. So basically that is a list of 6 principles. And then we're gonna ask like which ones stood out to you and why. And I wanted to talk a little bit about social media. And if you're viewing this online, please answer the question, what's stood out to you and why, and what can we do as educators to engage in two-way communication, and what you currently use, and is it effective for your families, why or why not? I just want to take a moment to talk about Pinterest, Twitter, and classroom websites. So, you know, as the times change, there are many new ways to communicate with families in the classroom. Back in my day, I sent home weekly letters. I printed, made phone calls, and set up parent-teacher conferences. Also had parents' nights, picnics, open houses, and then the daily volunteering opportunities. But now with the prevalence of social media, there are lots of ways to communicate with families. Some things that you probably, maybe you thought about or have heard about, there's Pinterest. So basically Pinterest boards, they're kind of an easy way for teachers to share information and ideas. So families can stay informed and find new creative ways to help their children at home. Teachers can make a board that has current research on different educational topics or issues, or create one that includes subject-specific activities for children to do at home. One of my favorites that I saw was recipes to make with your child at home. But basically each board does give you families the opportunity to take the concepts you're teaching at school and engaging it with the children at home. It might not work for big corporations because they do have different policies and stuff, but like I know with Brandy that you owned your own child care center, that's something you could, you know, might be considerate of doing where your parents could follow you with stuff that you do at home and stuff that you could post to on there.
Yeah, right now most of my parents are on Facebook, so they see a lot of the stuff that we do, and I post crafts and stuff like that usually. when we open the daycare center, we'll have a Facebook website for all the stuff going on, and we'll have like kind of a newsletter. So if we have an event going on at the daycare or like a special, you know, like a people coming to sing or going to the library or something like that, we'll have that go out. I think every month we talked about doing it. So then they're a little bit more aware, and then we'll send maybe a reminder or something for people to sign up for it and field trips and stuff like that. So we're definitely doing the classroom type website and then newsletter type thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad that you guys could do that. 'Cause, I mean, a lot of people, I feel like everyone has a Facebook page or a Pinterest account or some sort of Twitter, some social media that they are on. I mean, my mom, she's ancient, and she has she's ancient, but she has a Facebook account. Yeah, that's another subject. But anyways, so yeah, I mean, there's different ways to communicate. And then there's Twitter. That account allows teachers to follow other educational professionals and organizations to tweet about education-related topics, activities, and articles. You're also able to follow the teacher and see the different ideas and topics. When I was coaching at a couple of years ago, I coached high school baseball at Mountain Range High School in Westminster, Colorado, and we communicated through a Twitter account for the parents. They would have to like us, and then once they like us, I think they got access to actual tweets when we posted. So that's kind of what their high school does for their sports, which might be a little bit different, but that's kind of what they use. And there's the classroom website. I wish I knew about the classroom website when I was a teacher, because that's probably what I would have done. You design a classroom website, and it can be built into anything you want it to be. Some important topics for their website may be like your daily schedule, weekly or monthly calendars, snack calendars, classroom rules, you know, dress code information, and you're working on school, field trips, permissions, whatever it is. It could even include a blog on which you can post a newsletter or write ideas about articles, topics, whatever it is. I mean, there's just a lot of social media, and not everyone chooses to use it, and it's okay not to use it. But it's out there, and I just wanted to make sure that, you know, there are people who don't have iPhones or computers, such as grandparents. I know my dad doesn't use an iPhone, he still uses a phone. So, you know, and then, you know, the grandparents, there are some grandparents taking their children. They might feel like the sending home notes, kind of like the old-fashioned way of doing stuff, or making phone calls or meetings. And so, I mean, in any given situation, it's just that's the best way to build relationships with families is to make sure that you know how you want your family to be communicated. It might not be social media, but it might be social media, and since we are in an era of social media, that's kind of why I wanted to put out that principle. So, what do you guys do? What principle stood out to you? Let's just talk about principle 2. And what can we do as educators to engage families in two-way communication? You guys probably are doing a bunch of things already. I know Brandy mentioned a bunch of stuff. Is there anything unique that you guys do that maybe some of you guys don't do or haven't heard of?
I'm not sure the principles, but stood out to me from the suggestions was to have events at different times of the day to be flexible to the parents' work schedule, to have something in the morning and then in the afternoon and then in the evening all throughout the year, so that to take away the excuse of, you know, work conflicting schedules, so that they can be more involved with their children's education.
That's always an excuse, isn't it?
It's a valid one, but
Yeah,
it's also convenient. So
it is convenient, and it's easy to say, yeah, my work schedule doesn't, but I mean, taking that, even if it's 10 or 15 minutes out of your time to participate in something, goes a long ways.
that was something new to me. Right?
We celebrate kids' birthdays here sometimes, and I have a mom that every year comes and celebrates with us, and she'll bring lunch and snack, and she'll bring all the decorations and all that stuff, and it's just, that's how that specific mom is. There are some moms who know that I celebrate their birthdays, but, can't take off the time of work or something, so I do make sure to send pictures and stuff of them in their little party hats and whatever, but yeah, some of them are more eventful than others too, so depends on the parent.
I'm so jealous of you. Like, in Head Start, we can't have any outside food or anything because we're federally funded. And I feel like it kind of takes the kind of a killjoy out of it, of celebrating birthdays and stuff.
Luckily, I don't have any allergies or anything to worry about here, but I'm sure when we open the center it will be a little bit different, but it's a little more flexible doing it at home right now.
I do most of my communicating with parents, if not by face, by text message. They seem to be very receptive to the text messaging. I don't do any social media conversations or any type of social media communication, I should say, but they're very receptive to the text messaging, so that's generally has been the best route to use with them.
If I have like a day off or just something I need to remind all the parents for, I will text them. And then if we need to go back and look like, oh, did I tell this family? Did I mention it to them? Or they need more formula or more diapers or something, I can go back and say, yep, I did say it on this day. I did let you know that I had the day off or whatever, because there's some parents who say they forgot or, oh, no, you didn't tell me. And it's like, yeah, I did. It's right there.
Yes, text messages is time stamped. That's what I really love about text messages. I mean, I have like 50 staff, so whenever somebody called out and they're just like, well, I didn't do this, or I didn't say this, or I'm like, well, yeah, you did. It's actually right here. It's kind of funny. But yeah, timestamp is huge because then you could go, not respectfully be, hey, you actually said this, just a reminder. All right, well, that pretty much concludes our last live session. If you have any questions or anything, let me know. And then, Michelle, I will get back to you in the whole class about the APA format and if you have to do it or not for the journal entry. And if you have to do it, I will show you an example of what it should look like. I will be posting that. Either or, there will be an announcement with that. So just so you know, everybody's clear.
Thank you.
Anyone have any other questions, concerns, anything they want to add?
Nope.
Well, you guys have been a great group of girls to work with, and if I don't talk to you, I wish you the best in your future endeavors, and feel free to reach out to me with anything that you might need or want, letters of recommendation or anything to that extent. Always here to help, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and happy holidays, everyone.
You too.
Thank you. Happy holidays. Have a good night, ladies.
Thank you. Bye.